I was thinking we should talk about heartbreaks and cocaine. Nah, just heartbreaks. So yeah, like everybody's been in love at least once in their life. Twice if it didn't work out the first time. But at least one time. So I figured why not? Why not talk about the opposite of it? Let's talk about heartbreaks. Because if you've been in love, you've also had your heart broken. Actually, I want to correct my first statement. If you're lucky enough, you've been in love at least once in your life. But everyone has experienced heartbreak in one form or another. Either by being cheated on, broken up with, the death of a loved one, you know, heartbreak. Anyway, it's gone. You've, everyone's felt it in some form or another. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about heartbreak. Not cocaine. Nothing would do with cocaine. I know nothing about cocaine. But I figured I'd just be funny just for the opening. But yeah, like heartbreak is one of those things where it's either gonna make you or break you. It's either gonna mold you into the person you're going to be, or it's gonna turn you into someone that you were never supposed to be. With my personal experience, like I think the heartbreaks that I've experienced have molded me into a better version of myself at that point in time. Um, so like there's four different versions of heartbreak. There's rejection, self-infliction, unknown, and death. Death is self-explanatory. So let's talk about rejection. Actually, no. Let's talk about the second one first. Let's talk about self-infliction. This is one of the first ones I've experienced. This is where you're the person who's breaking up with somebody. So I was dating someone, and we weren't together. We weren't dating long, but I knew that without a doubt that I loved this person with every fiber of my being, and I thought that they loved me as well too. And long story short, we broke up because they were like, you know what, I have feelings for my ex still, and that sentence right there, like, made my heart stop. It like devastated me. And then I'm listening to them, go on, go on, go on, and like I kind of like space out, and I just knew I was like, you know what, I said we need a break, which is basically the first step to a breakup. Um, I think we need a break. And I was like, listen, I have to go. I need to clear my head. I gotta process this. And we didn't talk for like a couple of days. When we did talk, we had this like, I don't even know what to even call it. It was like this disastrous meeting. And basically, I decided right then and there. I was like, you know what? I was like, if you're really like, I mean, I knew what the whole history was. I was like, if you're still in love with this person, you're in love with this person, and I can't compete with that. So right then and there, I broke up with the person, and I broke up with the person. I broke up for me, because I didn't want to be the person who was with someone who loved someone else. I was not going to subject myself to that, so I broke up, for me. I broke up to save my sanity. Um, and I'm glad I did because we became better friends than anything else. Um, Unfortunately for that person, that going back to the ex was the worst thing for them. It didn't work out, and I noticed that they've been pretty much single or jumping from relationship to relationship ever since. Um, the next one I've experienced too is rejection. Now, rejection is not what you're thinking. Rejection is like when, perfect example, which most people have experienced, is being cheated on. You're breaking up because you've been cheated on, because the person has gone outside the relationship. I've experienced this, and this one was the most devastating one for me ever. Um, and I will say one thing: this is the one that made me who I am today. How my views on relationships, my views on dating, all that. This is the one that made me who I am. Because I was with my ex, and we got engaged, and I caught them like cheating, and it took me to a really super dark place, a place that I didn't even know I can go. Like it was just super devastating. Like there were, let's just say, there was violence and hospital stays, and it was really really bad. I'll maybe get further in detail with it later on, but that one really, that was a lot for me. Um, so the next one is what's called unknown. You know, the what if factor. Now this is generally someone who is like, it's usually with like two friends, like, you know, like really good friends, where one has feelings for the other, which the other one has no clue of, and but they're never available, or the other person never makes that bold move into trying to pursue something or whatever, because their fear of, what if, you know, this changes our friendship or changes our relationship. Now I've never experienced that, but I do have a friend who's experienced that, and I feel during this, in the beginning of the situation, I felt bad for her, but I'm glad that she's gotten over it now. Where she's, you know, was friends with this guy, and they were like really tight, like good friends, and he was, you know, he was dating this girl, and we all thought that it was just like, you know, a smash and go, honestly, and it turned out that they, you know, ended up getting married and having kids. And she's like, oh my god, she's, you know, my friend was like, oh my god, that could have been me, like that should be my life. Why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I say something? I mean, she since then has gotten over it and moved on with her life, but to see her go through like that was like devastating. And I just, you know, with I was just thinking about it, like, you know, she called me earlier today and we were talking, and you know, she was like, "Oh, I met this new guy and he's great," and I was like, "Okay, you know, it's good for you. Like, you're definitely moving on." And it just made me think about, like, you know, heartbreak is one of those things, like, either it's gonna make you or it's gonna break you. For me, like, with the rejection part of, like, you know, the with being cheated on, that almost broke me. Like, I went to this place where it was like super dark, and it almost turned deadly. Um, like, I was in a very deep depression, and on top of going through everything I was going through, like, you know, with me being on dialysis and trying to get things together with, you know, to get on this transplant list and everything, like, that was like the worst thing for me at that time. But yeah, I just wanted to share, you know, that story with you, you know, share that information with you. If you're out there, if you've experienced love, like, that's great for you. Um, and if you've experienced heartbreak, don't let it get you down. Don't let it get you sad and depressed. Just use that energy and propel yourself forward. And that's my message for you guys today. Be amazing.